Yeah, it will stay on the story. I think we are live. I still have to hear it from a few people whether
Hmm.
we are really live or not.
Yeah.
Turismo. Hi. Hello, Turismo. Siddharth. Hi. Gautam is here. Animation craze. So, yeah, we are live. And hey, so let's begin. Hello, everyone. And in
Hello.
today's live stream, we have Vivek with us, Vivek Ram.
Hello.
He's a
Hello. Hello.
founder and CEO and creator and godfather of Vaanar Sena. So, every single title that you can think of goes to him for Vaanar Sena. And he's here to answer your questions. We have been asking, we asked questions over the, I posted a story so that you can ask question over the Instagram. So we'll be taking some of those questions, some of them from the YouTube chat if we finish all of them. And he's gonna walk you through his current projects that he is going through and anything extra that he wanna share in the stream. So Vivek,
Yeah.
do you wanna start with the your work first, or do you wanna take the questions first? What do you think?
I think we can take the questions first.
Okay, okay,
Like I think we'll talk about the work as we maybe see something, or then we'll share screen. We'll see what to do.
okay.
Because work, I think people can also check out on the channel on the Instagram channel.
So I'll have the story here, right? And do you want to take the questions from the Instagram first?
Sure. Yeah. Let's do that.
There are around 80 questions.
Nice.
I don't know how many we can answer, right? So we'll have to be a bit more picky with all these questions, because if we start answering, uh, even if we take a minute for every question, it's going to be more than half an hour, 1.5 hour of stream, and we
Yeah.
have around like an hour with us, right? We're going to go to
Right.
bed after that. Wake up
Yeah. So
early.
you can filter the questions. You can see what's relevant. I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
there are a lot of
exactly.
repeated questions also.
There are a lot actually. So
Um, I think
uh,
your voice is very low on the stream, is what is the message
mine
I'm getting. I
is it?
can, yeah, yeah, that's Gautam, I think, mentioned that your voice is very low on the screen.
Uh, did someone said? Is my audio low? Yes, on the stream. Oh, that's something to figure out actually. Why is it so?
But I think Discord is nice and clear. Stream to बताने.
I can increase the audio levels. Let me see. Properties, and yeah, there's no gain in the mic. There's no filter that adds gain. Can I add gain? Yeah, there is gain actually. So maybe by 6 more dBs close. Is it louder now? Holy shit. The bar suddenly went up. I think I'm a bit too loud now.
Yeah, better now.
Or better now. Okay, okay, okay. It's fine then. Okay, now it's all good. Right, so we'll take the questions.
Hmm.
So I'm assuming all these questions are redirected to you.
We can both talk about it. I think that might be more interesting.
Okay. बिकॉज द
Yeah,
फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज
because
भाई आपने खुद की एनिमेशन टाइप को बनाने में बहुत कंफ्यूजन होता है क्या करूं Oh, I got the question. So the question is, uh, so so the person asked, he wanted to animate his own animations or his own characters or stuff, but he's too confused, like
hmm,
how to deal with it. Uh, for me, I think it's too broad of a question to answer anything about it.
I think the question maybe is about style and yeah, maybe it's about like finding
Yeah,
your own
because it
style or
says
apply.
animation type,
Ah,
so
wait.
maybe he's talking about the style.
Correct. Because I think many students worry about style a lot, and in my experience, style happens. Style is not created. So if you are worrying कि अरे बहुत टाइम लग रहा है, नहीं हो रहा है स्टाइल, आई थिंक इज जस्ट अ प्रोसेस. यू विल फिगर इट आउट कि वो you try different things and ultimately you kind of land on your style of animation, your style of drawing. The more you practice, the more you uh, animate basically. वो सोचने से नहीं होता है, करने से ही होता है. So you have to keep animating and then your style will happen. So
Yeah,
then the
that is true.
question, I think the question to that person would be like, how many drawings do you do per day? How many animations do you do per week? And then of course your style will happen. Nothing will change. Nothing will happen in 2 days.
Yeah, it's mostly about like confusion ho raha hai. So I think
Hmm.
to solve this confusion, you just have to keep practicing because it is not something that you impose. It comes
Right.
naturally, like Vivek said. You just keep
Hmm.
drawing and forget about the style. You just have to make something. That's it. Style will come along with it.
Right.
I think it happens a lot. I remember in my initial days of drawing, I had like certain style of drawing, and we always hear this style hai drawing mein ye hai wo hai. So then oh sorry, I was about to drop my mobile, but yeah. So I was saying so I started seeing that patterns in my lines. Those एकदम से ऐसे sharp हो रहा है कहीं पे curve, and you try to draw more boxy shapes. And I started drawing like that more and more because I thought that's my style. But later on, I realized that I just have to keep drawing, and it's totally fine.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it will come. It takes sometimes it takes years, right? It is not something that happens in 2 days or 3 days. It takes years sometimes. You just have to keep working, keep drawing, keep animating, and then it will happen.
Yeah. So the next question is, I want to 3D print your
Surely, can you
characters.
share your OBS on Discord on that video that
Oh,
you
sure, sure, sure,
on your
sure.
very distracting.
So
Otherwise, it's a lot of lag on the YouTube.
yeah, the
Ah,
Discord is here. Sorry, the OBS is here. Yeah.
great,
Can you see it?
awesome. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So the next person asked, well, 2D animation with mouse, I can get precision. How to get that precision while drawing? Uh, yeah, let's skip that. Actually, I will cover that in other questions. Now this is a good question. How to start? That's the question. How to start? And then the comma, like for a real beginner. And
Um.
yeah, please go ahead.
Huh. So, what I normally tell beginners, complete beginners, like if you've never drawn in your life, ever type of beginners, the first thing, best thing to do is take a newspaper, take a magazine, or go online, go to Pinterest, and just draw what you see, and enjoy that process. If you don't enjoy that process, you're not going to enjoy what is to come after it. Right? So just draw what you see around you, draw, doodle on your notebook, in your sketchbook. Don't prepare too much. I would suggest that don't be like I have to get the right pen, I have to get the right pencil, I have to get the right book. ये सब मतलब फिर और confuse करेगा तुमको. So it's better to just start, look at something, draw, enjoy it. Once you get a hang of it, your hand gets better. Then there are many techniques and schools and things that you can join, so that you learn to refine them. But first, you have to just get used to sitting down and drawing. What I've noticed with many people who want to draw, their biggest hurdle is how long can you sit? And if you can overcome that hurdle just because you enjoy the process, even if you're drawing some flowers, spirals, curves, whatever you're drawing, if you can just sit and get lost in it a little bit, it's a great start.
Yeah, yeah,
And then,
that's
and then you can always sign up to some course. There are many courses online, or look at YouTube, lots of videos, and then you can kind of begin from there. Then it really depends whether you want to become an illustrator or an animator. There's a different route to both.
I think starting is the most easiest part from my experience, because whenever I was starting anything, I noticed that I'm like an absolute zero. So you
Mm.
can't go below that. You can't go into negative. So you have nothing to lose, and there is
Yeah.
so little pressure of you failing that you can just do whatever you want. You can start any day and start from anywhere. It's that when once you are somewhere and then you have to start experimenting, that thing become really scary. That's where you'll have to think about how to take those decisions. But when you're starting, you can just go ahead. You don't have to think about it a lot.
Yeah. And
um,
just to kind of tell people who are listening, and even if this person is listening, there is no such thing as talent. It is
mhm.
just practice, it is just repetition, it is just discipline. Talent is a myth. So
Yeah,
मतलब
exactly.
ड्राइंग डज नॉट ड्रॉप डाउन फ्रॉम समवेयर कि यार पैदा हो गया इसको ये आर्टिस्ट बन गया, ऐसा नहीं होता. So you can, no matter what age you're at, if you want to start today, you can start today. If you have the discipline, you can become a really good artist.
Yeah. So for us, adding something to that similar, point about the natural talent. So I had a few students in my batch where I noticed that they are learning really fast compared to others, and we would call them like naturally talented artists. But what I noticed is they were sharp learners. So it's not just drawing. You give them a problem to solve, and they would naturally solve it faster than other students. But that comes at its price. Generally, I have seen people with like sharp learning, they get distracted easily. I don't know, I just noticed the pattern. It's not like scientifically proven, but that's what I have noticed in my batches, where those who get something really quick, they get easily distracted as well. So they don't have that sort of patience. So
I think
even
it's
if
like
somebody,
the, yeah.
sorry.
No, I think it's like that tortoise and hare story, right?
Yeah,
मतलब
exactly, exactly.
like, ran very fast, but then took a break and chilled somewhere.
Yeah.
So that doesn't help.
And there's always something with someone. It's not like you're lagging behind if you are a slow learner. So the next question is similar one, where the person is asking, please discuss the perfect roadmap or practice. Perfect roadmap for 2D animation. Now I want to start with this. I recently went to Whistling Woods to deliver a session on grease pencil in 2D animation. So there, someone asked me the same question. So what we did was I opened Grok or Chat GPT. I opened Grok there, and I asked them how much time do they have. So they had around like a year, and I asked them that what is the result that you want to get. So they gave me a rough idea that this is what we want. So we just put that data into Grok and asked it to give us the entire roadmap for the roadmap for entire year, and it was really good actually. For 12 months, Grok told us what all to do, and honestly, if you follow that, you will learn a lot, right? But again, Vivek is expert here, so he can tell you more about it.
There are, I think, first thing, if you want to be an animator, very first thing you should do is pick up the animator survival kit. Like that, I think is your Bible, your holy book. It is the most important thing that you will constantly keep referring to over and over. So go to Amazon, pick up that book. It's got everything you need to learn from basics, right? You don't even need YouTube videos. You don't even need extra stuff. Just look at that book and it teaches you all the principles. You just have to practice. Another very simple way to do this is if you just Google, very simple, not even like Grok is great. It tells you what to do. It's spoon feeding you, but so does Google. You just Google 10 basic exercises required for an animator, and it will give you a proper list. I've seen many of these lists, almost all the lists are the same, and it will tell you step by step what to do and how to move forward. So, any of these two, not any of these two, like definitely get the book and Google it. You'll immediately get a list. Go through the basics. It's a good place to start, because none of those lists ever tell you that start with something very complex. They all start with something very, very simple.
Okay, yeah, that's a really good advice actually. Animator survival kit. I have it with me. I failed to get those 12 volumes um,
Mm.
because they are too costly. So I just bought one single book that cost around like 3,000 rupees. But anyways, you all should
Yeah,
have
the
it.
book has everything you need. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next question is, I am a digital artist and I have tried animation but I fail it, and whenever I try to make animation it doesn't look complete and it looks very rough. What should I do?
Can you say that again? I didn't understand.
So the person is a digital artist and they tried animation but it looks too rough or incomplete every time they make it. It kind of feels like a fail attempt whenever they make an animation.
Um, so it depends what they're starting with. I like in when we had our school which was running, we used to go through a very step by step process so that you understand how something should be, and those step by step processes are very boring exercises but very essential exercises. Like animating a line, animating a flexible line, animating a ball bounce. These are very simple things. Most people, I guess, what they do is they know how to draw. So they immediately go into one drawing here, one drawing there, and then call it animation. And then they feel it's too rough or it doesn't look right. I feel like they're jumping too far ahead. They should probably backtrack a little bit and try the simple stuff. Try a ball bounce moving forward, make it bounce on the walls of your screen, and then just see if that can be cleaned before you try something much more complex. The more complex you try something, the more challenging it gets, the more easily you'll get disappointed. It's just a vicious cycle at that point.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
my advice, go simple. Go very, very simple.
yeah. So should they clean it up like every single piece that they make, or because I
Not clean
feel
it
like
up.
is it something like a cleanup problem where they are not able to clean up their animation?
I think it's a timing spacing problem. Most times I've seen people get disappointed with their rough animations, it's timing spacing. Because if you look at a Glen Keane video or a Glen Keane animation, it's very rough but looks very beautiful. The problem is when your timing and spacing is off. The problem is not how clean your lines are.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Even if it's not clean, but the animation is really smooth, we call it
Yeah,
a smooth animation. We don't call it a rough animation.
correct. Because the timing and spacing is great.
Yeah, that's true. So the other person asked, this is a bit of a technical question, but they ask, how do you animate moving cars or vehicles when they are taking turn from different angles?
How do you
So what?
animate moving cars from different angles?
Yeah, like
I
some
think,
dynamic shots with cars and a
sure.
chase sequence. How do they animate it?
Well, your fundamentals have to be right. Everything boils down to your fundamentals. If you can, one, your perspective drawing has to be great. And two, simple exercise. Take a cube and move it in space in 2D. Try to draw it in space in 2D. If you can achieve these two things, you can animate any car. Like it's quite simply the fundamentals at that point.
Yeah, otherwise just use 3D.
Yeah. Then it's
Just use
not
3D, use
2D
pencil line
animation.
art. Yeah.
Then it's
I
not
mean,
2D animation anymore.
yeah. I mean, so this is like I mean, they never said they wanna animate it in 2D, right? So, but
Huh.
yeah, if they wanna draw it from different angles, then yeah, it's hand drawn.
It's
But
hand
hey,
drawn.
you can always use 3D and draw over it.
It's still not 2D then.
You want to. So the next person asks, "What is Sakuga?" Google it, bro. Come on, do it right now.
What is
And
Sakuga?
yeah, to be honest, I don't know. If Vivek wanna say anything on this, Vivek.
No, I don't like. I've heard different definitions, but I wouldn't bother.
I just Google it, or maybe
Yeah.
ask any AI platforms. Um, do we need to draw all frames? And what's with layers? How to use them for efficient working? It's too narrow of a question. I mean, we don't
These are
even know.
technical. Matlab,
Yeah,
there's a million. I think there's a lot of tutorials and so many. Like you Google it and you get confused with the number of tutorials that are out there.
yeah, exactly. Now this one is a little different. It talks more about freelancing and learning. So the best way to earn money as an animator, freelance, social media, or job, or is there any other way?
Um,
So
my
the person who asked the question is confused in three options: freelance, social media like content creation, or full time job.
And let me put it in sequence of what I think is a good idea if someone especially is a beginner. Um, Topmost priority job, second priority freelance, third priority social media content. Now I'll explain my reasons for this. A lot of people love going into freelance and saying, "Oh, freelance mein, paisa hai, acha hai. I get to do a lot of different, you know, clients and I get money." But the problem is in your learning. When you're 20 years old, 25 years old, and you're learning animation, you're starting off, you're not going to get the kind of experience to learn and improve your skill just by freelancing. So, in a job surrounded by other artists, surrounded by seniors, surrounded by people who are reviewing your work, there is a higher potential to become better at your work, which is very difficult sitting by yourself, right? So, I would put topmost priority as job. You will make money, which is great, but you will also get to learn from people who are better than you, learn from people who can give you guidance. All of that can happen in a job. If you freelance, then you're on your own. Every project will be different. Maybe the project will be great, and then only the client is going to decide whether the client is happy or not. So if the client is happy with your work, you don't know if you're really improving or not, but you'll make money. So there's definitely more money in freelance than in a job, in my experience. But the learning is very limited in a freelance setup. When it comes to social media content, एनिमेशन के साथ करना है तो तुम क्वालिटी छोड़ ही दो,
Just
right?
don't do it.
Like if you think you can become a social media influencer by doing animated work, yes, you can, but then there's no quality. It's not animation anymore. It's going to be a series of drawings that you put out with some dialogues, and you're going to get a lot of likes, but your quality is going to go nowhere, right? I still haven't seen a single YouTube channel by any Indian influencer that is going into the influencer level of followers and having quality. Like these two don't happen together, right? So, like if you want quality, it's going to take time. Like right now, we are working. I'm working on a piece. It has taken me more than 3 weeks right now just to do 10 seconds, right? So those don't come to. If you do something super fast and super fun, then you're going to get something that looks nice, and then you can become an influencer. But it's not going to be great animation. It's going to be very very choppy, motion graphic kind of animation.
Yeah, so this is what I've been saying like a lot because, um, you know,
I think I think people are responding to this by on the YouTube channel quite a bit.
oh,
Yes,
oh,
and
we are beyond that. We doesn't even fit in that graph. We are beyond that shit.
yeah, like someone's asking about Domics. Domics I've not seen. RG Bucket List I've seen. It's not good quality. It's just content. It's really fun content and it's good for an audience. People will laugh, but it's not good quality.
So I think what they are trying to say is, I think they are confused with animation creator who hasn't made big. No, so Vivek is not saying that. Vivek is saying, so the animation creator who pushes like the movie level of quality cannot become big because it takes massive time, or they have to compromise a lot with the quality. Then only they can achieve that number
Yeah, yeah. Then you're
of
not looking
followers.
at the skill. Like it's like you're trying to carve an antique wooden piece of furniture with all the little details and all that, which will look beautiful after 100 years also, or you're trying to make IKEA plastic tables, right? Jo har you can sell in hundreds, thousands, but if you look at it after 100 years, you're not going to like it.
Yeah, exactly, and
It's that kind of a difference.
I've talked about this like multiple times over my stream as well. It's a really unfair match, where you are putting people. So these social media platforms here, you are putting people who sit down, draw, or make one single piece in weeks, or sometimes in even in like multiple weeks or multiple months, versus people who can just live record or who can just live shoot and put that video every 2 times in a week or 3 times in a week, and and the reward is consistency, right? It's not something about the reward is not the quality. So you have been put against, in these odd situations, and you'll have to compromise with your art here so that you can match the consistency. This is not artist friendly environment. This is more like, you're just trying to be there, you're just trying to be in that space. It's not healthy as an artist as well. But as of now, we don't have any other options, so might as well just live with it, right? And that's why
Correct.
social media platforming and content creation is, and and the problem with that is everyone can get into it. You can start it today, and that's what is happening. Everyone is getting into it, so the competition is huge. Everyone is just posting shit ton of content. The internet is flooded with content, so you become, the next big thing in the market will take a lot out of you, and you'll have to have something special, something different from the rest of the crowd, so that your content or the animation can shine in all these the heap ton of videos. So that's the thing. Otherwise, it's always your decision.
Yeah,
There's
because
one question. Yeah, please go ahead. Please go
yeah,
ahead.
just to add to what you're saying, like ultimately animation, illustration, all of this is art. If you really look at how art was made back in the day, art takes time, right? Otherwise, it stops becoming art. It starts becoming something where you're just churning out a product so that you get the followers, you get the likes, you get the content that you want out there, which is also why a lot of Indian animation is fairly cheap because it's fast. It's fast, it's low cost, so you get to put it on channels and then it kind of keeps rotating. Why do we not see, you know, American quality or European quality cartoons and stuff on Indian channels? You don't, because our entire model is different and the social media model is the same. So if you want a social media audience and you want to be an influencer, great, it's good for you. But then you have to also ask yourself the question: do you want to be a good animator or a good artist? You will be an artist, may not be a good one, right? And then your followers will be like, wow, this is amazing work. But among other artists, where do you stand? You have to, this is more for you to decide and you to gauge, where do you stand in that? If you listen to your followers, like, it's like everyone who draws, mummy papa ko to acha hi lagta hai, right? Right? And we've had a lot of people who come up to us saying, oh, my kid draws really well and all, but that's not what the standard is in the industry, right? So you might like the content and you might think it's good animation, but does it stand at par with what you see internationally is the question you have to ask yourself as an artist.
Yeah, about that mummy papa को अच्छा लगता है, right? So when I was a kid, I used to draw whatever, and मेरे mom dad बहुत खुश होते हैं कि ये कुछ बड़ा बनेगा, ये आगे जाके बहुत नाम करेगा. And now I draw really well, but I don't make money out of those drawings, so they're not really happy about it.
फालतू का कॉम्प्लीमेंट दिया बचपन में.
Yeah, so be aware कौन तारीफ कैसे कर रहा है. You never know when the people will turn their back on you. So stream has one YouTube stream has one good question, and that is by Pratik. How to keep character consistent? I believe while making 2D animation, it happens a lot that your face messes up from different angles. So what would you advise to that?
I would advise uh, understanding how a basic cube rotates in space, right? Like one of the early exercises that a lot of animation schools make you do if they're really paying attention to animation. It's a volume exercise where you take a cube and you rotate it or you move it through space, right? And to get the same cube moving through space, however you want. Once you can do a cube, then you can fit your design into that cube and be sure that the distance between the nose, the mouth, the jaws, eyes distance, all that is maintained because you know how to do a cube that moves without morphing and without blending around too much. So if you want to do, and I'm giving answers that are purely 2D, right? There are different ways of using 3D, using all of that stuff that will make your life easier. But I'm giving you an answer that is purely classical 2D. So in classical 2D, the way to improve your eyes is by learning to practice with cubes, rectangles, like cuboids, spheres with some kind of form on top of it, and tracking them in space and moving them in space so that you train your eyes to be able to tell that this is the same character. So your character does not keep changing forms as you move through. Then probably I'll show you a small example of it on something that we are working later on.
Do you want to show it now?
We can show it now. This is a
Yeah, I think it will be
actually
a good idea. Let's show it.
yeah. Let's show it now. Like this is something that a character I've been working on, and this is just a simple head turn. Like this is not just a head turn, but like trying to maintain the volume of the entire body just for this little part. This is just the starting of that entire piece I'm working on. So so your volume has to feel like a block, right? Like nothing. There is no 3D in this. There is no 3D model under this. Uh, you're learning to just do it by training your eye and working through it, right? So what you're doing is moving everything in 3D space, keeping that cube philosophy in mind. So in a situation like this, as he turns his head and as he turns his body, it doesn't look like anything is morphing or blending or bleeding, and it's holding its shape. This is something that comes with a lot with practice.
Yeah, if it
So
sounds too complicated, then I'm afraid it is complicated.
yeah, it is complicated. Like holding consistency is a challenge for most animators. How to keep the shape? You just have to. That's why you have to understand the basic building blocks of it. It's a cube. It's a sphere. How to move those things around as you animate becomes important.
Yeah, exactly. Another question from YouTube chat by Sahil Yadav.
Hmm.
So he's saying he used live sketching. He used to do live sketching, but going out and sketching in public, he feels very awkward and shy. How do I overcome it?
Um, I think, like most things in life, and Sahil already knows what I would say. You just have to do it multiple times, and you have to do it like until first time you will feel shy, you will feel like this is not right, but you just have to do it again. It's like going to the gym, right? First day you're like okay, जोश में है, then सब कुछ everything starts hurting, then you're like नहीं आज नहीं जाऊंगा, right? And then one day holiday became 2 days holiday, became 3 days holiday. Instead you just have to show up every day, right? You show up every day, things get better. So if you feel shy in public, all of that stuff, get used to talking to people, get used to people coming and looking at your work. Like I've also done it in public. It just, yeah, people will come, people will look, people will try to talk to you. You just have to kind of ease into it and get into that rhythm. You do it about 10 times, you'll get used to it.
So I have a very nice story regarding
Hmm.
this. I was at Infosys in 2013, and I was about to quit my job, and I really didn't know how to start in this field. So I was a system engineer, and I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to make my own animations, tell my own stories. So didn't know. My manager was knew a few people in the industry, so he made me met uh, I think Krishnamurti.
Hmm.
I think that was his name. Krishna Swami, Krishnamurti. Yeah, Krishnamurti, I believe. So he told me, make 3,000 gesture drawings, and then send him those gesture drawings by taking photographs of them in a month.
Hmm.
And I was like, I was hungry. I was hungry that time because I wanted to draw. I wanted a direction. So I'm like, okay, this is it. I got my master. I'm gonna follow every single word he said. And I decided instead of 3,000 drawings, I'm gonna make 7,000 and send him because more than double. And the only way was to go out and draw. And so what I did was I didn't even think about it. I just went out and I was in Mysore, a Sikh guy going out in a street, sitting in the side of a road and drawing already looked awkward enough. And on top of it, I had an accident. So my whole left face was bruised. I mean, you can still see the marks here, right? Even after 10 years. So my whole left face was bruised, and doctor said me do not go out in the sun. So I had to cover it with a cloth like this. I used to look like a terrorist. And So I had this whole covered up thing on top of my head, and people were like, "What the hell is going on in here?" And I would sit like whatever place I can find. So it's not like you'll always find benches, or you'll always
Correct.
find a decent place to sit down and draw. So I remember once I just sat down within a bush because this was nice and comfortable. So I just landed in there. I fixed myself within a bush and I started drawing it. Obviously I got some scratches here, but I did it anyways, and I did it for a month. Sat down every single place I could find, and during the last 10 days or something, I was like so used to all this that I couldn't even care what people are looking at, what people are thinking. I used to just walk and draw people, and by the end of the month I completed like 7,000 drawings. I sent him. Of course I didn't get any reply back, but that was a nice experience, and that get me started into this field. So I would suggest, don't think about it. Even if you do something, people will think something of you. Even if you don't do anything, people will still think something of you. So who cares what people say? You do whatever you want to do. Yeah. So be
Yeah, I
confident in
think
your approach.
you just have, and yeah, repetition helps. You just do it. You just get down, do it. There's no solution to acha ye mantra pad ke jao, right? It's just you just have to go.
Yeah, for anything in this entire universe, there's no single opinion to anything, right?
Yeah.
So, and you're a human, so forget about that. Okay, so one more question from, I mean, there's so many more questions, but yeah, the next question is 2D animation or 3D animation? Which one is more difficult, and which one should I choose? No, and how to choose in which direction should I go? Both are difficult.
Well, I would say the entry criteria for 3D
Yeah.
is lesser than 2D, and like it is go very easy in 3D to get started and to make something that looks like ha ye maza hai. Whereas in 2D, the entry criteria is much higher. You need to learn to draw, you need to learn to draw properly, and then you need to really draw frame after frame and then get very tired. Whereas in 3D, a lot of stuff is done for you, and so you can enter fast. But that being said, the quality requirement or the quality expectation in 3D is much higher than 2D. So to finish a piece is that much harder than in 2D, where you can, if you actually get to 60%, you can say this is done. Whereas in 3D, you try doing 50, 60% also, it will still look quite bad. So it's a choice of whether you want to sprint into something or do a marathon and how fast you want to get started.
Yeah.
And more jobs in 3D in India, to be very honest. Lesser jobs in 2D, more jobs in 3D.
Yeah, but I mean, not but in 3D animation, you'll have to tweak a lot of values. So
Ah,
you lose a bit of artistic freedom. I remember when I started 3D animation and I was a 2D animator before. It felt like I'm just almost doing a mathematics. It's not even animation anymore. So
but not if
you
you're
look like
animating. Not if you're animating. If you're actually animating, if you're doing modeling, texturing, and all, a lot of mathematical values. If you're
yeah,
animating, there's not. There's very creative. There's no mathematics there. But then all your
maybe
2D fundamentals come back.
yeah, yeah,
So
that's
there
true.
again, your 2D needs to be very strong.
But not the drawing. So you can
Yeah,
be an
not
animator
drawing, just
without drawing.
fundamentals. Yeah, just fundamentals.
Yeah, that sounds like a good deal, to be honest.
Yeah, like 3D animation is a lot of fun. There's no mathematics. There's no tweaking values. You just have to keep moving stuff and understand your timing and spacing really well, and of course acting and all the other things that come with it.
Nikhil asks how to deal with procrastination. I can animate at beginner level with fundamentals. I mean, it has nothing to do with the first question, but how to deal with procrastination?
How do you deal with procrastination, Jolie?
Me? I don't pay attention to it. I ignore it. So my ways was like I burnt myself through it. I'll tell you what. I was like a person who would procrastinate almost anything every day, anytime, and I would never do anything on time. So I kept on pushing myself for almost 15 years, or maybe I can say 20 years, right? And every single day, I would be like, do not give up yet. You are still not there where you want to be. And I'm still not there where I want to be, right? I'm still not at my 100%, the pure Super Saiyan, God level form. I'm still not there. So the battle is still not over. So I still have a bit of procrastination left in me. But it's my way is like, just fight with it until you win or you die trying. Simple as that. But I wouldn't recommend that.
Yeah. Well, for me, I think I think it's just about being a little more organized. I would say, like I see that with many of the students also about procrastinating. हाँ अभी थोड़ा करूँगा बाद में करूँगा. But when you have a deadline and someone's counting on you for that deadline, like even if it's a self-imposed deadline, sometimes you're like हाँ ठीक है ना बाद में देखेंगे. But if someone's counting on you for that deadline, then automatically you start kind of aligning a little bit better. Like if you say tell someone promise करता हूँ ये time तक हो जाएगा, and then now it's someone you really like or someone you really look up to, then that promise has to be kept. Then
Yeah.
it kind of pushes you to go in a direction. Like otherwise, I've noticed like if you say, "Ha, I'll do it tomorrow," then you're constantly changing your schedules. But if you actually tell someone or announce it online, like I've seen you surely do it, announcing dropping this new piece tomorrow, then you know you have to finish it,
Yeah.
right? Once you've committed and you've put it in public, then there's ownership to it,
Yeah,
and
that's
then it
really
kind of
smart.
pushes you. Yeah. So maybe externalize that ownership and say something you're promising to someone or tell someone, कि अच्छा, you will be the person who will constantly check on my progress. Something like
Oh.
that.
Maybe that's how I'm more disciplined now, because now I'm trying to think. Almost in my every single project that I'm doing, I have multiple people involved,
Hmm.
right? So there are some sort of commitments with everyone. Okay, I'll do this to you. I'll do this. This is what I'll deliver and that.
Right.
So that kind of keeps me on the edge that I have to, do multiple things. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
interesting. I
Yeah.
was thinking I'm just like like a ruthless caveman who just doesn't understand anything and is like, do it until you do it. Also, I've seen, if you cannot have procrastination imposed on yourself by yourself, then have someone else on top of you. तो वैसे डंडा
Yeah.
पकड़ के खड़ा रहेगा तो भी हो जाता है काम, जैसे
Correct.
पीटी मास्टर, तो मेरे
Yeah.
मेरे साथ में कुछ बंदे ऐसे थे जो दे आर लाइक चल रहा है यार, चलने दो, अभी डिस्टर्ब नहीं करना, एंड दे गॉट इनटू जॉब and now they are doing like 9 to 5 every single day. Of course they are
Yeah.
miserable because now they have to work hard, and they have to be disciplined, but yeah, they don't procrastinate their work anymore, right? So good for them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can have imposed that some sort of discipline on you as well.
Yeah.
That
I
can
think
work too.
there has to be consequence, right? And I think many
Yeah.
of my students know me using this word a lot. If there is consequence, then automatically your procrastination kind of takes a backseat because कुछ तो होने वाला है if you miss. अगर कुछ होने नहीं वाला है, nothing happens, then you will procrastinate. Like क्या फर्क पड़ता है?
Yeah, डर बिठा के रखो सबके दिमाग में. So the next
Yeah.
question, you would love to answer this. It's from Instagram. How
Hmm.
long did it take you to learn anatomy?
It took for me. I think learning anatomy was a very organic process. It was not like अच्छा मैंने classes लिया and then I sat down and then I learned it. Like when I was learning anatomy, I think YouTube was new, so there was not much material online. There was not much material to really refer to. So I used to refer to a lot of books and understand what was happening within those books. So actually, I learned animal anatomy before I learned human anatomy. So, and then I
Like Aaron
started
plays.
kind of because I had a job to do. Like I was with Rhythm and News, and I had to model an animal. I had to model like a mandrill, and then I had to model a wolf. So, and that had to be anatomically accurate. मतलब they said, "Can you do it?" जोश में हाँ बोल दिया. तो फिर करना पड़ेगा. so so then I kind of learned how to how to really. I studied how those forms work. I spent a lot of hours every day sketching, drawing out those parts, understanding what happens when those muscles move and how they change and what is the bone structure under it. So, that was the process. That was the entire process of doing it. So, I don't know how much time it took. I honestly cannot say how much time it took.
Yeah, for me, I think I'm still learning.
Hmm.
I started in 2013 and then I pushed really hard on learning anatomy. I think I did it for 2 years, 3 years. And then once I reached to a decent level, and I always have this thing, where I want to do multiple things in my life. So I started doing rigging and animation, 3D animation and 2D animation and all that stuff. So in midst of that, somewhere, I lost the flow or the practice of human anatomy. And until recently, from last 1 year, where I started practicing it a bit more. But I
Hmm.
still have a long way to go. So
It's a
I don't.
constant process. There's always something to learn in anatomy. I don't think you can ever be done with it. It's
Yeah,
a
it's just
process
that.
that you will keep going on and on and on with.
Yeah, at what level you think, yeah, this works for me and works for things around me that I'm doing. I think
I
that's a good
think,
way to.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think if you understand the main major masses and you know how to draw something with opposing curves, you're in a good place. Like that much of anatomy is enough for you to get started. At least to be able to do a gesture with opposing curves and understand all the main masses. Like there's about what, one, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9. About 8 or 9 main masses. That's it. There's
Damn,
not more than that. If
you even know the numbers. Dang.
Yeah, and I'm just going by the body, right? Like just what all is there. Like you need to understand the deltoids. If you look at the arm as one mass, there's bicep, tricep. There's forearm as a chunk. You look at the
Yeah.
quadriceps, hamstrings as one chunk. You look at the calves as one chunk, and then back muscles, front torso. That's it. You're done.
That's a mini lecture on anatomy right there. So
Yeah.
and the next is the most infamous question that you might have faced like shit ton of times, and I have faced it too. Which software do you use?
Currently, we use Blender. We use Blender for all our 2D work. Currently, as of the last, I would say 6, 7 years, we've been using Blender.
Same for us. We use Blender like
Yeah.
nothing else. Blender is like a god for us, the
Yeah,
savior we
Blender's
always say
amazing.
here.
Yeah, it's got 2D capabilities, 3D capabilities. I don't know why you would go anywhere else.
Yeah, just uninstall every other software that you have. Just use Blender. Adobe,
Hmm.
Autodesk, just remove them.
Yeah, take the
Just
same.
get rid of them.
Yeah, there's nothing honestly Blender cannot